Dum de dum de dum de dum. What the? What? Well, that was quite an explosion, wasn't it? That is going to be a new feature that we're going to be looking at in this week's Snapshot review. So hopefully you'll be able to join me for this video where I will be going through the Minecraft Snapshot 13 Week 02A. So this is a follow-up obviously from last week, and we've had a number of improvements and a number of additions, so I'm going to be running through them with you today. But what I will say is, from what I've tested with this snapshot, quite a few elements of it are still buggy yet, so there may be a B snapshot or things may be changed by the time this video goes live. So if it is, I'm sorry, I will put it in the description if I've missed or anything has changed, because we've got some right weird stuff going on, like this. So there's a number of bugs with things like that, and I'll get into some of the reasons why I think that is in a minute. So today the first thing that we're going to look at is our book, as always. So here is the snapshot. They've improved Skeleton's aim. I have not tested this, but it's on the changelog, so there we go. Skeletons have got better aim now. Not looking forward to that in maps for sure. They've added something called an activator rail, and this is an activator rail right here. It looks a bit like a powered rail, but it is red. It needs to be powered with the redstone, so I've just used a lever and it transmits power up to 8 blocks. To craft one of these guys you're going to need some iron ingots, and I highly suspect this crafting recipe is going to change because you need iron either side, and then it gives you 6 activator rails. I highly expect that that will change, maybe with some quartz or redstone in a future snapshot, but that's the activator rail. So what this actually does is it activates things. So for example that, and we will get into that in a moment. So in the future I imagine it will be able to fire arrows out of minecarts with dispensers, and maybe many other things, maybe minecarts that you can turn on a redstone lamp inside, stuff like that. It acts basically like redstone current for minecarts essentially. It's the same as getting a piece of TNT down and redstone and a lever next to it. That's basically what that does. So, okay. There have been a number of texture pack changes. This is the snapshot that has brought in the addition of HD textures. So at last you can actually play HD texture packs without needing something like Optifine or MC Patcher or anything like that. So this is still a bit buggy yet, from what I can understand. Textures now use one file per block, an item, rather than them being in a full PNG file together. So that means that, let me just check this here, check the changelog, where they are stitched together at runtime. So texture sizes don't need to be consistent either. Any block and item can be animated by putting the frames underneath each other on the right in the PNG file. So you can animate anything like blocks by putting another one underneath and it will scroll through. And you can use an optional TXT file to specify frame order and duration. So if you're into texture packs, then you will know more about that than what I do. If you don't know much about texture packs, I wouldn't worry about it. In addition to that, there is special rules applied for water, lava, compasses and clocks, and each existing texture pack will be automatically converted anyway. Vanilla textures will be like a fall through if any texture files are missing, say a new update has come out, and there is a converter available to test out the new format already, which is like an unstitcher by Dinnerbone, and I'll link that in the description. So there's more info available on the changelog if you want to know more about that. Obviously I don't know much about that myself, so I can't help you much there. So there's been a death message for now being pushed off a cliff by a mob and falling a long way down. So instead of the old one, which was something like, I don't know, hit the ground too hard I think, or something like that, they've got more specific death messages. Quartz blocks are the next thing, and we've had a full set of quartz blocks added. So if you remember last week, the nether quartz, this was added to the nether. We now have some nice, very nice decorative blocks. So we have the quartz block, which is 4 nether quartz, and that gives you a block of quartz, similar to a brick recipe. So 4 blocks of quartz will give you 3 quartz slabs. That's not right. It's 3 blocks of quartz across will give you the slab. So that's what I think it is anyway. Yeah, 3 across gives you these slabs. So you get 6 slabs for 3 blocks of quartz. So we've already been through that one. We have a chiseled variant, which I quite like. It would add decorative flavour to rooms. And that is 1 quartz slab on top of the other, and you get chiseled. We have this sort of pillar block. So if you're into building stuff like Roman pantheons and stuff, then that might be something that you might like, and that is 2 blocks of quartz, and that will give you 2 pillar quartz blocks. And obviously the stairs are just normal as any type of stair would be, just using the quartz blocks in that fashion. So let's see, TNT Minecarts. These are crafted with a minecart and a TNT, and you get a minecart with TNT, and as you can see it is a minecart with TNT in it. And these guys can be activated using these activator rails manually by just popping them on here, and let's grab ourselves a lever just like this, and we need a TNT minecart. That just gives you a minecart. There's a bug for you. It doesn't recognise it's got a TNT in it, and if you pop that in here it will activate. It's like prime TNT basically, and it blows up. So it is also activated as well when it is derailed, and I'm going to set this up over here because I don't want it to interfere with my testing zone. So why don't we just pop this down here and give it a little nudge. And that one is quite a bigger explosion, so when it derails you have a bigger explosion. I can see this being used in a lot of traps and a lot of maps. I would like to use these in one of my maps, Global Nightmare, because I want to build a nether mining complex for one of the areas, for one of the later areas, so these TNT minecarts are going to be very, very useful for that. So yeah, that pretty much covers TNT minecarts. There's not a lot more to them, really. So, yeah. Naming items using the anvil has slightly changed. Now, if we can name chests, or mobs, or any sort of container, instead of displaying what it is, it displays that name. So, for example, I have named this chest Box of Goodies. As you can see, it actually says Box of Goodies. If you put 2 together, it just says the 1. So, and also say if I put this villager down, and then right click on the villager, instead of saying villager, it will say Dave, as I named this guy Dave. Hello, I must have spawned you by accident. Well, there we go. So yeah, they are the sort of naming changes. So it works with any container, so dispensers and stuff like that. Dispensers are a bit broken right now with textures, but they still work the same. I probably believe it works with hoppers and stuff like that as well. So you have to chuck it in here, and you pay 5 levels. This is the 9 levels because of what it already was. But say if I threw a chest in there, it would cost me 5 levels. I imagine, however, though, most people will be using this in creative. Say fun box, I don't know, it'll cost you 5 levels, but I imagine most people will be using that rather than being in survival more in creative. What are you doing around that TNT minecart? Be careful with that now. Be careful. What is your name, you say? Oh, Dave. Be careful around this, Dave. It's dangerous. Yeah, that's it. It's probably best to go over there. Wow, you are walking weird. Where'd the baby guy gone? Mini Dave. Keep doing your thing. Look at him go. Speed running away. Doesn't want to be near the testing zone. He thinks he's next to be in the tests. Okay, so we've done the improved naming. So there's been a few hopper improvements. They've actually added instead of that whip thing that they had last week, a proper texture. But if, as I showed you earlier, you press Q, you get this weird sort of, I don't even know really what it is. Like this end stone with a wooden slab and there's a little nub on the end of it. I'm not quite sure what that is. So that's going to be a bug, but yeah, they've added that. Item hoppers are now powered with redstone, and this is how you craft them, by the way. It used to be smooth stone around the edge, but now it's iron ingots and a chest in the middle, gives you a hopper, and they've slightly retextured it. So now if I throw these blocks of quartz in here, it's not going to send them into the chest because I have it powered with redstone. So if I turn that off, however, then it's going to begin filling up. So if I turn it on, it will stop. So as you can imagine, this is going to be quite useful for sort of minecart storage systems. If, for example, a dispenser, well, the hopper, you don't want the hopper on, say the chest is going to another hopper, you can have it roll over a detector rail that will turn this off. You can make quite complex storage systems with that. And I will look at that more in probably some tutorials when 1.5 is released. What are you doing? He just seems to be he doesn't know where to go. There's just so much stuff scaring the hell out of him. He doesn't know where to go. It's coming back now. Oh, the baby villagers make me laugh. So, okay, let's get back to the review. And I think, yep, hopper improvements. So, as I said, redstone prevents flow. Comparators textures has changed, and something I wanted to show you actually in last week's snapshot, well, the B version, which I didn't know about, nobody seemed to know about, was that now we can actually determine using comparators how full a chest is. So if I just grab a couple of these and get some lamps, and I put this in the floor, but the big flaw with it last week was it didn't actually recognise when something was empty. It now does, because as soon as I put one item in there, the comparator fires up and it has this cool little texture effect on it, and it begins to power it. So if it's empty, there will be no power at all, but as soon as you get one item in there, it's going to be turn on the first lamp. So if I begin to fill in some of these slots here with various different things, why don't we just get some of these going? It will power up, as you can see, and you will get a power all the way up to 15. So cool feature. It works with chests, minecarts with chests, I believe, furnaces. No, actually, I don't think it works. Yeah, it does actually work with furnaces, I think. I'm not sure on that one. It works with dispensers, I know that. So virtually any sort of container it works with. So, yeah, I know it definitely works for chests and dispensers. Maybe minecarts with chests. I think that will be there. And I'm not sure about furnaces. So, after that, there is... yeah, there is updated language files, which is pretty meaningless for us right now, but if you are maybe looking at some different languages and that kind of thing, there will be a few tweaks there, and there's, as always, been a few bug fixes from last week, but a whole host of new ones have been generated. But hey, you can't just get there overnight. So, yeah, that is pretty much it for this week's snapshot. As I say, there's probably going to be a B1, what with all the changes and stuff going on and all the bugs that are going on. So, yeah, that pretty much covers it for today anyway. We've got some nice new additions to the game. Not anything as huge as perhaps last week. I mean, all of this stuff last week was pretty amazing, to say the least. But, well... we've got a few new sweet additions, especially these. I like these blocks. So yeah, not a whole lot more to say, except, yeah, 13 at week 02A, everybody. So yeah, I'm going to round this video off now. That pretty much covers it, so I thank you for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it and found it useful and learn a bit more about the new features coming up in 1.5. It is shaping up to be a great update, and I will hopefully see you either in the next snapshot or in something else. So until then guys, see you later and have a good day.